Hello everyone! Welcome back to another 3v3 battle that me, Surreal, and Mankirk have played. We are facing off against two Chaos players and a Vampire count, and we are bringing the armies of the Empire here to bear down upon the forces of evil. I guess Vampire counts have temporarily allied themselves with Chaos? I don't know. So my army over here, these are not my cannons, these are Mankirk's cannons, and this is Surreal's Hellstorm Rocket Battery. My army here consists of a front line that is supposed to hold the line until the bitter end, so it's made up of Flagellants, the Tattersouls, and the Sigmar Sons. Behind them we have two Greatsword groups, a Halberdier group over here, Halberdier group over here for the backup. We have one Crossbowman and a Celestial Wizard. Yeah, I brought a Celestial Wizard, because you know, the only thing I see Empire players bring, Amber Wizards, and maybe a Fire Wizard sometime here and there. So, you know what, screw that. Celestial Wizard. There you go. Respect for the Celestial Wizard. You want to see what they look like? You probably haven't seen them for such a long time. Here they go. They look pretty cool. I think they have like a monocle or something. Or they have like goggles. Or, no, I don't know what the heck that is. Looks pretty cool, although my graphics are kind of toned down because of how many models are on the battlefield right now. But anyway, Celestial Wizard, then Volkmar the Grim mounted on the special Magical Chariot. We have the Royal Altdorf Griffites. Those are my only cav that I brought. And then I also have the Silver Bullets and the Sterling's Revenge, both of which are armor piercing, and currently they are not seen because they have stalk. Then we can go over Surreal's army. Actually, I think I'm just going to kind of show you, like, this is Surreal's army. This is what they have. We have the nice little Blazing Sun back here, two of them, a couple gunners, mixture of Sigmar Sons, and then swordsmen, spearmen, being led by Boris Todbringer, right? He brought Boris mounted on the horse, crossbows, great swords, and fire wizard. And then for Mankirk's army, two of his cannons are over here, along with his Imperial captain and the renowned, what are the Reichsguard? The Zentlers? Yeah, Zentler's Reichsguard, and then a normal Reichsguard group is all the way over there. So the rest of his army is over here on the left with a bunch of Halberdiers. We have another Sigmar Sons. I guess we all brought them. More swordsmen, a couple handgunners, and a couple Flagellants, including more Tattersouls. Out here, he also brought two Pistoliers, which I commend you for, because they're a pretty bad unit, and so you never get to see them. So it's always a pleasure to see them used, but they're kind of bad. That's probably why I don't see them much, but they're cool though. They're just a bunch of dudes with, you know, rocking the dual pistols. I want these to be better. I want them to get some kind of buff that actually makes them worth bringing, because they just look really cool. The dual pistols is just such a cool idea. Anyway, you can see a couple Chaos Knights are running away from them currently. Let's actually press play at this point. Chaos player here is being led by Big Bird, some aspiring champions, Chosen here, Chosen there. The rest are Chaos warriors of various types. We have two Blood Knights. We have a Terra Geist being led by Manfred von Karstein on a zombie dragon out here, who I think took a miscast to the face. Skeletal warriors backed up by Graveguard and a vampire. Then over here we have two Hell Cannons, one of which has been destroyed by a cannon of Mankirk already, and the other one's going to be, I think, destroyed soon-ish. Or maybe not, I can't remember. And then, well, okay, here we are. Okay, sure, I didn't mean to press this button, but here we go. We have a front line of Chaos Warriors. We have a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, a generic Chaos Lord, and a Fire Sorcerer, both mounted on their heavy horses, I guess. We have two Warhounds back here, and then two Halberdiers. And the enemy is just going to be charging forward, and that's what we expected, because we have all the artillery. And it was really kind of lucky to get a snipe on this Hell Cannon so quickly. So very quickly. Not sure what they were aiming at, but they missed. Oh, also I have an Imperial Captain as well. I have that. We have the Banishment Spell being cast by Volkmar here because of his War Chariot. It gives him access to that. And you can see these Chaos Warhounds and the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth are coming around here on the right, where I have positioned our Silver Bullets and the Sterling's Revenge. The idea here was for their army to engage my front line, and then I wheeled these people around and shoot at their sides. You see the Warhounds coming over here, so I'm going to have to try and intercept them with our Halberdiers, and I'm also getting my Royal Altdorf Griffites nearby. Also using Volkmar as best I can to try and stop these Chaos Warhounds from getting into our Silver Bullets. Meanwhile, the front line is just going to be a fest of death. Death fest. Throwing the Imperial Captain over there, I'm going to be buffing them up with the Celestial Wizard. There's a Curse of the Midnight Wind dropped in the middle. So just a bunch of Flagellants and Swordsmen facing off against Chaos Warriors. They will lose that battle, but they are going to hold to the very bitter end, which is what I want them to do. I'm going to be throwing in these great swords here and there, I believe a little bit later into the battle. You can see the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth again, because so many units, it is a little choppy, I apologize. I'm trying to destroy our Sterling's Revenge Company, but I am stopping them with the Royal Altdorf Griffites and getting backed up by Zentler's Reichsguard. So we're going to surround this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, and I believe we routed here very soon. And now my Silver Bullets have an amazing shot on these Chaos Warrior Halberdiers that are on the flank. You see a Thunderbolt being dropped by, I think that was my Celestial Wizard. I used their Thunderbolt. Volkmar over here on the right trying to encourage the Halberdiers, buff them up with these special buff abilities. We'll get to the rest of the battle later, although you can see the entire line is currently in combat. But yeah, we surrounded this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth and murdered it to death. That's what you do, you murder it to death. So it's going to be chased off the field of battle. You can see these Knights of Blazing Sun from Surreal being pulled all the way around the right flank, and he is going to go for this Hell Cannon, I believe is what he's going to do. Meanwhile, our crossbowmen are targeting some of the Halberdiers over here. They also shot up the Chaos Sorcerer Firelord here very briefly. And I'm just going to kind of be ping-ponging Volkmar the Grim down along the line to try and get charges off to disrupt the leadership of the Chaos Warriors. And you can see with the backing of the Great Swords, the front line is actually not doing too bad against these Chaos Warriors. Great Swords are pretty good. I mean, they were debuffed a little bit, but they're not terrible. I guess the Chaos Sorcerer would have fire cast a Flaming Pillar. We're just going to dodge that, though. Volkmar the Grim being chased by the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire, but that is quite okay. We have regeneration because it took a legendary item, and we're going to get a rear charge to these Chaos Warriors over there. I believe this is another Curse of the Midnight Wind. Yeah, another Curse of the Midnight Wind to try and assist the right flank because it is starting to fold. Another banishment spell from Volkmar the Grim. The rest of the battle that's going on over there. And you can see we have a very nice position up here with Sterling's Revenge. They are on top of this hill and getting a lot of nice shots into the sides of these Chaos Warriors. Meanwhile, these Silver Bullets destroy these Halberdiers and are now shooting into these Chaos Warriors as well. I'm pulling back our Halberdiers. I believe I pulled it back, and I eventually placed them just kind of near the Silver Bullets area, just to have a unit nearby in case something gets, through the line and starts to charge them. Over here, the Blood Knights from the Vampire Count engaged against Surreal's Knights of the Blazing Sun as he was trying to take out the Hell Cannon, which he did. He's also dealing with the Terrorgeist back here in the other Blood Knight group, and his Knights of the Blazing Sun are actually going to, I believe, fall to these Blood Knights, but they're going to deal a lot of damage to them as well. And I tried to help them, I believe. I was thinking about sending my Royal Altar of Griffites, but I think I didn't send them against this Chaos or Sword of Fire. I think. But you can see that he's getting reinforced by Mankirk's Reichsguard contingent led by the Imperial Captain. I believe I pulled back my unit soonish. You can see, yeah, there we go. I'm pulling it back to the Chaos or Sword of Fire. Meanwhile, on the right side, my Silver Bullets, these units came back from routing, so I'm just pouring more fire into them to get them to reroute. Getting our Halberdier nearby. And the main line backed up by the crossbows, by the Sterling's Revenge, by my heroes, and the buffs and debuff spells. Celestial Wizard was actually able to rout most of these Chaos Warriors, which otherwise would have been able to destroy the Flagellants, and maybe the Great Swords eventually. I mean, the Great Swords are very powerful, and since they were mixing with the Flagellants, they had other bodies there to take the hits from them. Also, Chaos Warriors are not really focused on armor piercing, so they didn't get to do too much damage. So right now, currently the left flank is failing, like this extreme left flank. So I'm trying to start sending my units while I can down the line and trying to break the formation so we can then form a new line basically right here is the idea, because you can see it's kind of collapsing right here. And so I remember even typing, I said, let's form a new line, and that's what I'm trying to do, is trying to get my units. You can see these cannons now facing this way, the Hailstorm rocket batteries facing the left flank, and we are going to get into position to get into a final battle between what remains of Chaos and the Vampire Count. Meanwhile, on the right side here, I'm just going to be continuing sniping these Chaos Warriors. They are going to go over here, and Chaos on the right side is going to reform right around here. They're going to form like a blob of chaos. But you can see that, for the most part, the Chaos Forces have been pushed back temporarily over here. And now let's stop it here, and we will show the rest of the battle, including the end of what is to come. Looks like we have some early action from the Pistoliers on the left flank. I have not seen really any of this, at least not much. I guess this is the best thing kind of going for these guys, is that they do have the Parthian shot. Parthian shot, just a reference from Rome 2. Missile cav that can fire while moving in a 360-degree angle. Now the Pistoliers, they're just one of those units, kind of like a chariot. They can do a lot of work, they just require a lot of micromanagement. So, in most cases, it's just not super wise to bring them. just because, again, too much micromanagement in a battle where you're already having to micromanage a lot of other things. It can distract you. You can kind of see they moved. I don't know why they moved way out there. They're a cool unit. And I don't know, maybe I just need to bring them again. It's been a long time since I've used Pistoliers, but man, in my experience, they've just too much work for what you get out of them. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, we have some Chaos Knights looking like they want to charge these Sigmar Suns. Gehenna's Golden Hounds being dropped on the Archlector here of Mankirk. Again, this is Mankirk's side, and Cyril is taking up the middle. You see his handgunners just unloading on these skeletal warriors as they're approaching the front lines. He actually kind of took a lot of range. I didn't notice that. 2 handgunners. Oh, no, just 2 handgunners. I thought these were also handgunners. But yeah, Skeletal Warriors just getting torn to pieces on their approach. But, you know, that's what they're there for. They are fodder. They are there to protect the Grave Guard that are behind them. And again, I apologize for the choppiness here. So here we go. The Chaos Knights looks like they did charge into the Sigmar Suns and the Tattered Souls. Their charge can do a lot of damage to Tattered Souls. You can actually see they are dropping there a little bit, getting reinforcement from more Flagellants. The Pistoliers look like they're just trying to harass the Chaos Warriors. They are not armor-piercing units, even though they are guns. They're not armor-piercers, so a lot of their damage is kind of deflected by the high armor of the Chaos Warriors. Meanwhile, though, holy crap. So many units down there. I can't wait till I can upgrade my PC and actually bring you a 3v3 and ultimate graphics. And not choppiness. Anyway, Halberd line is now engaged against the Chaos Warriors. The Halberds are a very solid holding unit. You may think they're only useful against large units, but that is not entirely the case. They do still have armor-piercing damage, so that's guaranteed damage against Chaos Warriors, and they have a relatively high melee defense, so they are a pretty good holding unit. They are better at holding than swordsmen, though, of course, they are more expensive than swordsmen, so I don't know, but they can hold a line for a while. You can see Big Bird coming in here, though, just causing a ruckus, just flying over... literally flying over the Halberd line to get to the Archlector over here. Meanwhile, the Pistoliers are almost, you can see, like, spent half their ammunition and not really got much out of that because, again, this is a high armor unit that they're firing into. We have handgunners back here trying to rout off the Chaos Knights. They actually did a lot of damage here. Ooh, they're going to get a charge off? They're on the very edge of routing. Are they going to get a charge? Oh, they're actually going to charge the handgunners. Oh, man. And then that's going to give them their morale back. One more salvo from the handgunners would have routed these people off the field. That's unfortunate. Meanwhile, the front line of Halberdiers, their leadership is kind of taking a hit, but they are holding off these Chaos Warriors with great weapons pretty well and for a long time. Meanwhile, in the center, Surreal's melee force of swordsmen, spearmen, and gray swords that are the backup are engaged against the Grave Guard over here. You can see his Fire Sorcerer, or Bright Wizard, sorry. His Bright Wizard just kind of sitting there in the middle of some Grave Guard and Skeletal Warriors. He can survive a little while in this type of situation. Meanwhile, Boris, I remember Cyril was talking a lot about how much work Boris was doing. So he is over here against the Grave Guard. I think he just did a lot of cycle charges with Boris. But over here you can see that there is eventually kind of a mass chain rout with the non-unbreakable units. So the Halberdiers are now running for their lives. The handgunners, they could not withstand the force of the Chaos Knights bearing down upon them. And again, just one more salvo and that could have been the whole difference of what's going on over here. So yeah, the front line is breaking, and this is when Mankirk told us that, you know, hey, I'm breaking, and that's when I was like, okay, we need to form a new line next to Surreal so we can still protect our back line. You can see Surreal's crossbows are trying to help out Mankirk over here, piling into the Chaos Knights that are still routing off his handgunners. We have some great swords over here that are holding the line. Everything else around them is basically breaking and running for the lives, but they're going to try and hold off the Cryptors, the Chaos Chosen, Chaos Warriors. They have Grave Guard nearby. That's so much. You see the Bright Wizard has now started to rout again. It's just this mass chain rout that just kind of went down the battle line over here. And it's about, I think at this point is when I stopped earlier. Yeah, I guess you can see I am moving my units over here to try and reinforce Surreal and this new line that we're going to try and make over here. I'm starting to move over. I believe I move my Sterling's Revenge soon, but I position them right here to get a flank shot on all these Chaos Warriors, and they're going to do so much damage in this situation. I think I'm going to be moving my Silver Bullets over here soon as well to try and assist as I'm trying to take out the Chaos Lord and the Chaos Sorcerer of Fire over there. These Chaos Knights are just causing so much trouble against all the ranged units in our squishy backlines, just continually charging and rounding off these poor crossbows, now getting into these great swords. And it is not looking great. Pistoliers, Hold on, let's pause and get a Pistolier update. We have one that's almost out of ammo, and it looks like both Pistoliers almost managed to destroy Chaos Warrior Halberdier out here. I'm just kind of curious what they did. Okay, here's the other one. Looks like they started firing into Big Bird. Yeah, Big Bird actually would be a perfect target for the Pistoliers. That's actually a really good target because it's very low armor. But it seems like they spent most of their armor or ammo against the those Chaos Warriors. But this is a good target. That's a really good target, actually. Sorry, I just wanted to know what the Pistoliers were up to because I want to see how much work they're doing. I'm just honestly curious. Anyway, we have a vampire in the back line as well. That is not going to be great for these great swords who are now dealing with Chaos Chosen still. Big Bird's on the way. Vampire behind them. I am trying to come over, but for right now, these great swords and swordsmen are on their own, the Sigmar Sons. Over here, we have some crypt horrors that are routing some of these swordsmen are going to be getting into these handgunners. I'm going to apply some fire here for my crossbow unit over here, who is currently exhausted. No wonder, because they spent almost all their ammo. So you should see some crossbow bolts coming over there soonish. Big Bird is joining the fray over here against Boris Toddbringer, who's trying to reinforce the one greatsword unit that was over here. Who's now kind of stretched out in a long line engaged against these Grave Guard. I'm now finally getting here to support Surreal with my Great Swordsmen, as my Tattered Souls and the Sterling's Revenge were dealing with the 2 Chaos units that you can see are now dead. We were also dealing with this group of Grave Guard over here, and I now have them in a position to support this unit over here and shooting into Sartorial, into Big Bird himself. Trying to bring down a Sartorial, and you can see we have kind of formed a new line right here, which was the plan, kinda. It's not really a line, just a gathering here and there. Boris Toddbringer still just continuing to ping-pong back and forth between Graveguard units, and it's working really well. I cast in the Curse of the Midnight Wind here to support the frontline Sigmar Sons and our Grey Swordsmen over here. You see the Zentler's Reichsguard has now returned from fighting against the Blood Knights that are back here, and also the Terror guys. So yeah, I didn't really show much, but back here was just a massive cat battle with the Blood Knights and Zentler's Reichsguard, the normal Reichsguard, and the 2 Knights of the Blazing Sun, and we did win that fight eventually. You can see some of the Reichsguard actually withdrawing from this new Chaos Blob that has formed from the remains of their left army over here. I'm still applying pressure with my Silver Bullets because they have such a great position up here, and I'm holding back one Halberd unit to intercept anybody who comes close. But this hill is such a great spot for gunners, so I'm just pouring fire into that Chaos Blob. Meanwhile, my Zendler's, not Zendler's, the Sterling's Revenge, firing into these, crossbows firing into these. I get my Royal Altar of Griffites over here to try and bring down Sartorial. Crypt Horrors, sorry, are starting to break as they're fighting against the handgunners. And more of my infantry is coming up to the front line. We have some halberdiers that I'm not actually engaged in melee quite yet. But you can see we also have a Terror Geist that was in that CAD battle back here, but it is still basically fully hit points right now, and is a very dangerous opponent. And I continue to chase Sartorial, who's also being assaulted by the cannons. And you can see they're going to actually get into my Royal Altar Grip fights with the Terror Geist, and I'm going to pull away from this battle because they are losing this, and I do not want to lose my Royal Altar Grip fights. And I want to pull these forces closer to where all of our ranged units are. So eventually I'm going to be withdrawing our Royal Altar Grip fights. Archlector's still alive. Actually, I thought the Archlector was already taken out, but he is still alive and battling against the forces of chaos, along with this Imperial Captain. They're on their own as my knights are just walking through. I don't think I actually engaged these Chaos Warriors. I was just walking through them. But now, with Sartorial almost dead, the Terror Geist is now crumbling because all the vampire forces have been destroyed. There's going to be a mass rout amongst the Chaos. This bubble started to advance in our lines, but the Silver Bullets and I think maybe a cannon was firing at them, and it kind of made them do a mass rout over there. Also with the Knights of the Blazing Sun that were still alive from Surreal, helped make them rout. And all that's left is the Unbreakable Sartorial. So in the middle part of that battle, it looks pretty almost dire because our left flank had fallen. Our crossbow units in the back were being routed by the Knights, the Chaos Knights. The front line of Surreal was kind of getting routed by the Grave Guard, but luckily we still managed to pull through. And so good game to everyone involved. I hope you enjoyed that one, everybody. Let's take a look at the final kill count. Alright, so for me, Volkmar the Grim, I just used him kind of like a chariot and just was trying to break the enemy Chaos lines. Got 29 kills with that. Flagellants did okay. Halberdiers did really good. Tattered Souls 88 kills against Chaos Warriors are pretty good. Great Swords over 100 kills there. You can see I I had really good positioning with the Silver Bullets and Sterling's Revenge, and I didn't really have to worry about too much Cav threatening them because we shut down those Warhounds really early, and then Surreal's Cav and Mankirk's Cav were keeping the Blood Knights busy, and also the Chaos Knights were on the left flank trying to help destroy Mankirk, so those are something I didn't have to worry about also. So able to get good positioning, and when you get good positioning with units like these, they can rack up just a ton of kills, and they did here. And then the Royal Outdoor Grid Fights, I kind of just use them as a support unit and an anti-hero unit, and they seem to work out pretty well. For Narrow Eye Cock Goblin, or aka Surreal, we have over 100 kills on Boris. Now, I don't even have Boris unlocked, but I've seen his stats, and he's basically just kind of a slightly stronger General of the Empire. Very slightly. I think you had like a +5 melee attack and defense or something like that, and maybe his weapon strength is also higher, so like that's pretty impressive for Boris Todbringer. 60 kills for the Bright Wizard, 100 kills for the Spearman. There's probably against Skeleton Warriors, but still, like, that's, good god, that's so many kills. Surreal's line of greatswords just did so much work here. The Sigmar Suns, Handgunners still did some pretty good work there, but Knights of Blazing Sun, and then over 100 kills in the Sunmakers too, which is no small thing. And Mankirk here, Archlector 9 kills. Halberdiers did pretty good. Handgunners got a ton of kills. Pistoliers actually got more kills than I thought they did. Huh. Alright, good job, Pistoliers. Zintler's Reichsguard 42 kills is really good, and the cannons were, for the most part, unthreatened, so they were able to just kind of continue pouring fire throughout the entire battle, so good on them. For Oz Carson here, the Vampire Count player, over 100 kills on the Vampire. She was just in Surreal's lines, just causing terror. Graveguard did pretty well, Blood Knights did pretty well, Cryptor is over 100 kills is great, Terrorgeist 26 kills is great. Draylock, let's see, this is the person that I was fighting against. We were lucky enough to have an overcommitted Dragon Ogre Shaggoth get surrounded by all of our cav and brought down before they could do too much trouble. These things are nasty. The cannons from the Empire from Mankirk shut down the Hell Cannons, and also the Blazing Knights of Surreal shut down the other one. Besides that, the front line of Chaos Warriors, they all got a high amount of kills against my Tattered Souls and my Swordsman and Great Swords, so really good job there. Chaos Sorcerer Lord, 40 kills. Like, he was in the melee through a lot of that, so a lot of good kills there as well. And then 4570, or aka Big Bird, got, oh my god, 300 kills on a Chaos Knight. If my voice changed just because my hands are over my mouth, oh my god. 300 kills on a Chaos Knight. Holy shit. That is a lot of dead handgunners and crossbows. Holy crap. MVP of the game. Did anyone get like even close to 300? I don't think so. 269 for this greatsword is ridiculously good too. But holy shit, 303 kills. I mean, just like, you know, just clap for that Chaos Knight. Good god, they tried so hard and went so far, but in the end it just never. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the 3v3 battle, everybody. Again, at some point in the future I'll probably have an upgraded computer so I can actually show ultra graphics on these, and it'll look really nice and fancy. But until then, a little choppy mess, which still a fun battle, so I wanted to show it because 3v3s are fun, and it was a theme with the Empire, you know, 3 of us together. And anyway, I'm just babbling on now. You all have a good day. Take care.